I've had a lifetime's worth of experiences, and some of them were really horrible. Jumping out of windows to get away from the cops because we were at a gay party and it was illegal. So we all had to jump out the second floor window. Remember that? That was in the year probably, 1970 or late 60s. And it was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it was, gay parties were illegal. And it was raided because it was a gay party, and we all had to, those of us who didn't jump out the window got arrested. And I remember going to clubs where the doorman would push a buzzer or ring a bell somehow that would go off upstairs where people were dancing because the police were coming. And so, but you could kind of dance, but you couldn't touch. So if a slow song was playing, people would just separate and still kind of dance together, and it was harassment. They would just check people's ID and give them kind of disgusted looks and that sort of stuff. Anyway, in the early 80s sometime, I do remember reading The Advocate, sitting on my balcony in the village where I lived at the time, and seeing this little article on this gay cancer that they had discovered, and it was specific to gay men, and they couldn't figure out what the connection was. So, and I remember being very confused about that. I just couldn't understand what that had to do with being gay, and neither could anyone else. I remember one time I was walking up Church Street. I was actually on my way to get a bereavement card, and there was this weird street scene where there was a VON car, which is Victoria Order of Nurses, who did a lot of home care then, in front of City Park Co-op. There was a truck that transports oxygen. There were a couple guys in wheelchairs on the street, and this sad, frightening sort of vignette was being played out in front of me, and it literally stopped me in my tracks. It was so dramatic for me because I realized just how serious this is and how many people are sick. And then I walked up to the drugstore, which was on the corner of Church and Wellesley, and the bereavement card section was empty. There weren't any cards. I had some really good butch dykes who I absolutely worshipped. They protected me, they supported me, they listened to all my sob stories. They were just great. They were great to have around in bars where straight guys would like to come in and cause problems. Over my lifetime, I've known maybe 4 or 5 people who have been murdered, 2 transgendered women and some gay guys. And virtually everyone I know from my age have been bashed at least once, if not more. Like, people just felt entitled to come down to the village and try and kill people or beat people up. Totally entitled. And people still do to some degree. If people think that it's over, it's not over, and it probably never will be. But it was just worse then. Which is actually, why I think the village is so important still, even though I predict within the next 10 years there really won't be one. I'll tell you, when it's gone, I think it will be a huge loss, and I think culturally, and I think as a refuge for us, particularly young gay men, coming to find a way to meet people and to be part of something, to be part of a community. Communities need a focal point, and I think we're going to lose that, and I think it's a real shame.